YouTube. What's poppin' today? Okay, so in the last issue, we had Storm. She was taking on her fellow X-Men in, what was it, X-Manhunt. And, truthfully, that storyline was pretty good, but it wasn't overly great. But before we begin, heavily fury that notification button so you don't miss out on all explanations of any video. We are in the Storm Sanctuary where Iron Man had broken into Storm's home where he tells her that she needs a better security system. Storm tells him to stop sneaking lady friends in her home to show off her hippo, which surprises Iron Man because he didn't think she knew he was doing that. Iron Man explains that Storm is bad at keeping secrets, but Storm tells him she's going to go back to bed on her mattress. Iron Man does a little trolling by telling Storm that the Panther had told them she floats when she sleeps. Storm is getting annoyed, telling him to get to the point because all he has been doing is testing to see if she can keep a secret. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Iron Man is honestly bold, annoying the goddess like this. Like, bro, you know she can't freeze you permanently in that metal shell of yours, dog. So I would chill if I was Iron Man, but hey, that's just me. But the truth is that he wants her to go on this secret mission. He does threaten Storm that if this gets out, he's going to publish what is on her browsing history, which I think is crazy. And if it isn't scandalous enough, he will add in maggots too, because he just want to make sure that whatever happens, she's going to be publicly embarrassed. And like I said, that's what I'm saying. He is tripping right now. But we are then in Brazil, where Storm risks a swift end as well as she faces a fearsome serpent on her own, a green anaconda. Surging with the maddening effects of tainted super soldier serum, and it hungers for mutant flesh, which I've realized over the years the super soldier serum has been giving people maddening effects and making people do crazy things. The only thing it didn't really affect like that was Captain America. And both Maggot and Storm are fighting the super snake, with Maggot getting tripped and Storm telling him to pace himself still because he's not fully recovered from his fight with Juggernaut ripping his arm off. She started chasing after the serpent, telling it that she doesn't have time for this and that it needs to go to sleep because it is cold-blooded. Storm starts thinking about what Iron Man has said to her when he told her that they've been working with a group of mad scientists that were trying to recreate the super soldier serum that created Captain America, and for some reason everybody wants to recreate Captain America. They want to make an army of super soldier serum, but the sample was lost during the transit because of a weather anomaly. They lost a good man and wanted to retrieve his remains from the Amazon rainforest for his family. Iron Man also wanted to get a sample of the super soldier serum before it gets in the wrong hands, because if that serum does, then they definitely will create an army of Steve Rogers. They also want the weather anomaly to be taken care of. They tried everything they could, but a storm god. And I like that they are really playing on this storm god business. Or like they are really, I know I've said that last time, but it's just like so much surprise at how much love she's getting. I'm so hyped up. But the next thing we see is that the serpent gets electrocuted to the point where it is nothing but charred remains. This got Maggot talking to Storm about cremating the snake and telling her that was the point of the mission, which I thought was funny because their mission was to get the remains to the pilot remains to the family. So, yeah. But Storm is telling Maggot he was able to keep up with her speed, and he's not out of breath or his heart being elevated right now. Which I do agree with Maggot, because he's confused. He's like, what does that have to do with what I am telling you? The mission was to retrieve the remains of the soldier. But that's when Storm tells Maggot that she wasn't the one that attacked the snake. So that's when we see Mama Reagan standing there. And I ain't gonna lie, family, when I first saw this, I was like, Shazam! But then I just thought about it, like, yeah, this is not DC. But that made me think of Shazam. But Storm tells us that Mama Reagan has replaced the air with only oxygen molecules. Then we see Sango, Susano, who also began attacking Storm, and Maggot, who are also fighting back. But then we see that Storm gets Maggot out of there because he is out of his league right now. And Chalk attacks Storm. They are showing Storm a difference between a self-proclaimed god and an actual god. Because as much as we love Storm as a goddess, she isn't a natural born deity as much as Sango, Mama Reagan, Susano. These are actual natural born gods. And I also thought it was funny because when they slammed Storm, it actually said God Slam. So I thought that was like a really funny moment. But even though she got, aka quote unquote, God slammed, Dr. Voodoo begins to speak to Storm, telling her that she shares blood with Agamotto, the first Sorcerer Supreme. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't sure if he means that she is a descendant of Agamotto, or if the connection is because of Ashaki having some form of a connection with Agamotto. So I wasn't sure what that was meaning in that statement. But he asked her what would she do if she couldn't use her mutant abilities. He asked that before. That's when it came up that she ended up conjuring up this octopus that slams down Chalk and Susano to the ground. Mama Reagan attacks, but I like Storm's quick thinking, grabbing Chalk's sword, cutting her hair off. She contacts Maggot, telling him to tell Iron Man that his weather anomaly will come to an end soon, and that she will get the pilot remains even if she must go through every ash in the jungle. Also to get her armor because she is going god hunting. That is when we hear Storm gods and their fury, but Thor see thine A, which is that we see that is Thor. And there is something I want to discuss, and that is what the Silver Surfer was doing, because this seems to be the bigger plot point through this whole book, honestly. And that's what I'm saying. These Storm stories are just wonderful. But Silver Surfer has this new look, and I think we're in the future, and it seemed like he has defeated some of the strongest entities in the Marvel Universe. He is imbued with both the power of Cosmic, the fiery fury of Surtur, Twilight Sword, and now it seems like they're calling him Silver Surfer Soot, which I don't have a problem with the Silver Surfer being called Silver Surfer Soot, which is incredible because he has the strength to rip through a black hole cluster. He has the stamina to fight the pantheon of gods for thousands of years, and he has the ability to traverse the vacuum of space faster than the speed of light. He's more durable than Diamond. He can also heal himself, but the Surfer must answer to a greater power, which is Galactus, the devourer of worlds. But Galactus, no matter how strong Galactus is, he has to answer to another, which is the Black Winter, the devourer of realms, the Rot, the Storm Ender. These are all enders that must pass through the oblivion void. Many enders who have dared tried have met their swift end. Instead, at the hands of the most powerful primordials, Oblivion, the fearsome cosmic Leviathan. And they are having Storm fight that thing. Oblivion, they have a Storm fight him. I don't care what y'all say. If they try to depower Storm after this fight, I'm going to be hot. Because they have a tendency to do stuff like this in comic books where someone will give a character a power up like Storm and then they'll just depower. So I better not see no depower, because this book is amazing and I will tell y'all to go pick this book up. And let me know what you think in the comment section below. And I will catch you guys on the next book. Peace out, y'all.